Recently, I was working on a project which consisted of 80 input fields.
Wow.
And when I walked up to make it, there were two options to make the app. One of them was to make a long scroll with all of the questionnaires. It felt and looked ugly and it was not interactive with the user. And on the code base, it was a mess. All of the components of the form were on a single component and it was 1000 line component which was not manageable. The other option was to divide it amongst components and make a multi-step form or a kind of a multi-page form which looked better and was more interactive with the user. So I rushed up to Google and searched about how to make a multi-step form in React. The answer was to use this library, to do that, to use the pagination library, and all of these kind of non-intuitive and using others could answer. But then I realized that I already have a multi-step feature in my pocket, but I just didn't know it. You may be asking how. Watch the video till the end to know that. So what we essentially did is we made a use state with a number, and then we had a conditional statement there that if the number on the state is 1, show the page 1, and if the number is 2, show the page 2, if the number is 3, show the page 3, and so on. And then we made it two buttons which basically increments or decrements the state by 1. So that's how we achieved the multi-step functionality which we wanted. Okay, so let's come to the code because talk is cheap and we have to show you the code. Okay, so we are going to make this in vanilla JavaScript. I mean in React, okay, not in vanilla JavaScript, because I prefer React over vanilla JavaScript, and it can be even made in vanilla JavaScript, but I would like to use React. So let's just create a React app, npx create React app multi-step form and press enter. Okay, so we have successfully made the project, and now we have to go to the multi-step form um, directory. So you can just write the cd multi-step form to yeah, if you have Visual Studio Code installed, you can just write a code dot, or if you use some other text editor, you can go there and open this directory. So I'd like to use Visual Studio Code, so I'll just write the code and period sign and press enter. Now we have our document open in Visual Studio Code. Now first of all, we have to will open the src, and now here we have to just keep three files. We have to keep this index.js, app.js, and app.css. Rest all is not of any use to us. Okay, so you can just press command and delete it. I mean control or delete it, move them to trash. Okay, so in app.js you have to just remove all this, and you can just put these react fragments there and put a h1, write a multi-step form. Cool. Now in index.js you can remove this report web vitals, and then remove this as well, and remove the index.css. And in app.css you can just remove all these stylings because you don't need them. Now I would want to open a new terminal in VS Code, but if your terminal does, I mean if your code editor doesn't support new terminal feature, I mean integrated terminal feature, then you can use the same terminal, and it's basically the same thing. So you can just try the npm run start. This means that we are telling a React app to run, and press enter, and it must be now running in our browser. And by the way, I'll just open a new desktop and put it there. We have an error. We can't import logo.svg because we have deleted it, right? So we'll just put it. Now we have everything set up properly. We have our multi-step form as well. So basically for the UI in this app, we are going to use Bootstrap. So how do you use Bootstrap in React? Well, there are two ways. One of the ways is to use npm and download it and sources in the HTML file. But we are going to do the easy way. That is to put the CDN link in the HTML file itself. I think it may be wrong, but you can do it. There's nothing wrong actually with it. So we can go to getbootstrap.com, read the docs. In downloads, we have this CDN. So this CDN, we can copy the first one, and in the HTML document you can paste it somewhere in the head tag, and yeah, you can then format the document and save it. Now if you go back in here, if you go back to the app, See, it is formatted. Sorry, it's formatted because we have successfully imported Bootstrap into our app. So the next step is to um, to make this multi-step login. First of all, this must be capital. So yeah, multi-step form. You can just write multi-step register form. Yeah, and now I want it to be smaller. So h2. Yeah, in h2 it's reasonably smaller, but not too small. So 3. Cool. So now you want it to be in the center. So I'll just do a div. By the way, I noticed that in the last video I was telling so a lot of times. So sorry. I want to eliminate so from my language. I basically want to use so as less as possible. So please help me for that. I again said so, I know, but what to do? Okay, container. This container gives the elements which we have inside it some padding from the left and the right side. And what we can do is we can even give it a empty4. So empty4 basically means that some padding from the top side as well. So the next step is, I'm sorry I said so, we have to wrap it in center tags. You can use CSS, but right now I don't have time, so I'm not using CSS, and it does the job for me, the center tag. So yeah, that's so cool. We have a multi-step login, um, what we say, title. Now the next step is to make the form. So for the form, I'll just come here, not in the center because I don't want the form to be in the center, but I'll make a div here. In the div, I can go to this getbootstrap.com, and in here I can search for form overview. Yeah, and then in here we have a form. We can copy all of these things, just copy it and paste it over here. Oops, paste it over here. And after that you can first of all we have to close these input tags with a slash, because in React it is not supported like in HTML. So yeah, first do that, and then what we can do is we can just right click and format document. This will format the document for you and it will look much more attractive. Now if you just save it and go here, we have our form, but we don't want this form, we want some other questionnaires here. So what we can do is we can just remove all these. So from the form I'll just remove everything from this button to this div right here. Why is it giving me an error? Yeah, I have to close this div. Now if I just right click and format document, it gets formatted, and if I just go here, we have just the email address. The first questionnaire which we have is the username. So instead of email address, I'll just write a username. Now we have the username here. And the second field which I want is, to be of the repeat username. Who says to repeat username? I don't know, but just for demonstration I'm just showing it. Whoops, there's an error. What's the error? Okay, I'll have to do it properly. Yeah, now if I just go here, we have the username, and instead of username I have to write the repeat username. Cool, we have the repeat username as well, and we have the username as well. So now the next step is to make the button which will help us toggle to the next form. But before that, where are the other questions? We just don't have 2, we have 6 questions, and we don't want to stack them one above another. We want them to be in different pages. So for that to happen, we have to divide these forms into different components. So for that we'll make a folder. I'm saying so many times. I'll make a folder as form, and as we have 3 pages, as I said, because there are 6 questionnaires, so if we divide it amongst 3 pages it would be good. We can make a pg1.form.js. This is basically a page in which it's a component in which I'll import React. So basically all the usual stuff which we have, and then we're going to do export const pg1 is equal to this. So sorry sorry we are going to copy all this. We are going to copy the form from here. I'm going to control exit and paste it in here. Oh, by the way, I have to return it. Sorry, I don't have to return it, and then I'm going to paste it over here, and then right click, format document, and just control S, and then in here I can just import this component. So pg1 from dot slash form slash pg1 dot form. Yeah, Copilot is really intelligent. It predicted what I wanted to do. Then I'll just do pg1 here. So we have everything same because we just put whatever it was here into another component. So now for the second page, I'm going to make a pg2.form.js, and I'm going to copy everything from here and paste it in here. And instead of pg1, I'm going to make it pg2 and check what's the second question. The second question is phone and repeat phone. Phone and repeat phone. And yeah. And in here, I can just import pg2 from dot slash form slash page2 dot form. Oh, pg2 dot form. So yeah, we are importing page 2, and if I just copy and paste it in here, we have phone and repeat phone. The third questionnaire is, so the third page, pg3.form.js, and I'm going to copy everything from page 2 to page 1 and paste in here, and make this page 3. In page 3, the questionnaire is password and repeat password. Yeah, we have to repeat password. We usually ask to do that. We never ask to repeat phone and repeat username, but yeah, just to create more questionnaires, I just did it. Anyways, so in here, if I just import pg3, from dot slash form slash page3 dot form, yeah, we have a password and repeat password. So now the next step is to make the backend next thing. So that's basically a button. So for that, I'll just make a button here, give it a class name. What is happening? Class name as btn primary. Yeah, btn primary. I think it's a green one. The green one is the btn success. This is btn primary. If you don't have any idea of what I'm talking about Bootstrap. So in Bootstrap, if I just go write the buttons, we have primary, secondary, success, danger, warning, info. Yeah, we can, that's what I'm talking about. So I can just write the next, and I have the next here, and I wanted to be in the center, so I'll just put this center tag. I know it's not right, but let's just let's just do it because to save time. I'll format the document and paste it. Yeah, we have it in the center. So now, how do you toggle between these? There's just one, the third page. How do I go back to the second page, or how do I go from first page to the second page? Well, by using useState. We are going to import React from React and use state. And then in the function app, we are going to set page, and set page is equal to use state and 1. So first we'll just page number 1, and then in here we can have the ternary operator. So for the what do I mean by ternary operator? Well, if it's just basically an if statement but in a minimal way. And yeah, we can just set a if no need to write if, we can just set a page is equal to 1, put a question mark sign there, and right there pg1 pg1 colon and null. So basically we are telling it that if the question if the page number over here is 1, show page number 1 or just show nothing. So we have username, change username, and if I just do it 2, we have null. Oops, there's no null here. 2. So we have null. So that's exactly what we want. And instead of null, I can just set a pg. We can just put another if statement that else if page uh, page is equal to 2, show page number 2 or else shown page number 3. So if I just do it 2, we'll have page number 2, and if I just do it 3, we have page number 3, and if I just do it any number 94, it will just reach page 3 itself. So let's keep it 1 for now, and yeah, we have our page number 1. So that's basically how we are going to toggle between pages. But how, you may ask? By this button. This button currently does nothing, so I'm going to make a on click here. So we are telling it that on click do something. So we can first make a variable as next page, which is equal to page plus 1. By the way, GitHub Copilot recommended me, I mean suggested me to do that, and I did it. And by the way, it's just a out of context talk that GitHub Copilot is going to be paid from some August, I believe. But that's so sad, and I can't pay so much. It's 10 quids a month. That's so much. And in India, it is like 800 not 800, more 900 rupees. That's too much actually for me. And I don't do that much work with Copilot. But when Copilot existed, it was so good for me. Anyways, if I just do this, it will set the page number. So if I click next, it will go to the phone and password. Now we want to create a back one as well. So I can just copy it above. By the way, if you're thinking how am I copying, you can press Alt Shift and the arrow key. So now I press the above arrow key, so it is a new component is printed above, or if I just press the bottom arrow key, it will be printed down. So I wanted it up, I'll just put it up. This must be back, and it should be -1. Cool. And by the way, there's this, it's merging. We don't want that. So that's why in this one of the buttons I can just put that mx4. Mx means on the x-axis give padding or something. So that's what has been made over here. So we have back and next. So if I just click back, we have phone, username, password, phone. But you can see the problem that it's going way after 3. So what we can do is we can make a ternary operator here as well. Page is more than 1, then what you have to do is and we can just write this, then we have to show the back button. So basically, if the page is more than 1, page number is more than 1, we have to show the back button. And if the page is less than 3, then we have to show the next button. So page less than 3 and is it listening to me or what? How come it know that? Anyways, so if page is less than 3, then show the next button. Cool. So now if we come here, for the last one we just have a back, for the phone one we have back and next. So perfect, this is exactly what we want. And one of the other things which I want is that I want the page number on which we are currently on top. This is a completely optional feature, but you can just do it for fun. Okay, so I can just make a p tag over here. In p tag I can just write the page of 3. Cool. So page 1 of 3, by the way, capital P. So page 1 of 3, page 2 of 3, page 3 of 3, page 2 of 3, page 1 of 3. Cool. That's so cool. Now let's come to the issue which I was talking about. It might look to you that everything is done right now. It's perfect. That's exactly what we want. And you might have even exited the video. But no need to exit the video right now, because I just said that my name again because it's the username, and press next and come back. Wait, it disappeared. What is this? We don't want that to happen. How can we solve this issue now? And why is it happening in the first place? Well, because it is in different components. So as the component goes, as the component is refreshed, the state in it also refreshes. So the state is only consistent within the component. But there's a thing known as context API, which means that the state is now basically to um, make the state within multiple components, or state within multiple components is basically context API. So we are going to use that. How, you may ask? Well, don't worry. We'll make, first of all, if you don't know about context API, don't worry. It's a really easy thing. It's a really easy thing, and you'll enjoy it. So further, to make the context, first we have to make the form context over here. So in src, we can make a form context, and then in form context, we can make form.context.js. Cool. And then form context.js, what we can do is we'll first make some imports. So import use state and use, sorry, not use context, create context. So what is basically context? Context is making of state available to all of the components. How? Let's see. So first we'll make a variable as form context is equal to create context. So basically we are creating a context in the variable form context. Why am I saying so many times? And a new word has also come in. Basically, why am I saying basically so many times as well? I don't know. Anyways, export const form provider. So what am I doing? I've just made a function as form provider. So this form provider, this GitHub Copilot is disturbing me. I'll disable it for just a moment. Disable globally. This is form provider. So a context basically has two things. It has a context and a provider. So provider, what it does is it wraps the component and gives it ability to use this context. And the context, this variable, it basically lets the component take the data from the context. So we'll see it how it works in just a moment. So we'll first make a couple of states. So so first questionnaire for us was username. So we'll make a username, set username is equal to use state, and just this. And there were 6 questionnaires, so I'll just do it 6 times. 1 2 3 4 5 6. So username, the second was a repeat username. So c username. Why c? I don't know. So set c username. Then we have phone, set phone. Then we have our phone, because repeat the phone, and then set our phone, not phone. And then the last one is password. Oops. Set password, and then the last one is our password. Then we're going to set our password. We'll have to write the form context dot provider. Cool. And in here we have to make, inside of form context dot provider, we have to write the value, and value must be username, c username, phone, our phone, password, our password. Basically all of the things which you want to supply to the different components, or the state which you want to make common between different components, must be written over here. So as we are just writing this, we have to we have to change the context state also. So we can just make you write all of these as well. So now if we just go and wrap our components with it, it won't happen because there's no there we have taken the children here. Oh, we haven't taken the children. So children basically means the components which we have over the app. So this children comes to the component and it must be going out of it as well. So in here we can just supply it out and format the document. Cool. And then we can just do an export default form context. So we are um, exporting form context as well and form provider as well, and we can just save it. So now the component which we want this in are these three pages, and they lie over here in app.js. And where does app.js lie? In index.js, because it is over here. So what we can do is we can just import the form provider. So import form provider from form context slash form dot context, and this form provider must be wrapped out. This app must be wrapped inside. I mean, it must be wrapped within the form provider. So yeah, there's nothing gonna happen right now because we haven't set it up nice right till yet. So the form context of form provider is now wrapped in here in index.js, and we can first of all close all these things. It just makes your workflow hard. And the next step is to import the states which we made in the context over in these three components. For that we are going to import first of all okay, we have to even use context over here, and then we can import the form context form. So what was it? Form context. So form context, yeah. So form context must be imported from form context slash form dot context, and then in the component we can make a variable. So the first one is having username. C username is equal to use context form context. Cool. So this form context, we are using it with the form context, and in the input now, because the fields from which we are inputting the data is from the input. So in the input we have to write that value is equal to username, and on change, basically on change is equal to, we are telling it that if the text changes, that if the text changes, we want the state to change as well in real time. So we can just write the set, no, sorry, it must be set username, right? Set username, not c username, set username. So the set username to e dot target dot value. Now if I just go there, we have written that e dot target dot value must be the username if we change the text. So in the username, if I just write as the Johnny, my username, and come back, so it stays now because we have the state common between multiple components. So we can do the same with c username. So c username and set c username. The c username must be in the input. Value is equal to c username, and on change is equal to e, and we have to set the c username as e dot target dot value. So if I just repeat the username, go back and come back, it stays the same. We can do that with all of the components. So I'll just quickly do it with all of the components in full speed. No time lapse. I'll be talking. Don't worry. So basically, quickly, we have to import use context as well, form context, and then we have to see what are the what are the yeah, so we have written that use the context, and we'll see what is the questionnaire which we wanted. So in form context we have phone, our phone, and uh, set phone, set our phone. So I can just copy, I mean I can just do multiple cursor with this alt option, alt key on my keyboard. So we have to select phone, our phone, set our phone. We can just copy these, and in page2.form we can just paste it and put commas. Yeah, it's just a quick little way to do it faster, and that's it. Yeah, phone, set our phone, everything is done. So in input we can just put the value as in phone, oops, phone, and on change, oops, on change as e. E means the, you can name anything, it's just a callback. Set phone to e dot target dot value. Cool. And then the input over here, value is equal to our phone, oops, our phone, and then the c value, I mean on change, is equal to e, and then I can write the set our phone to e dot target dot value. Cool. I can right click and format the document once again so it looks cooler. Now we can just test it. So phone, some phone number here. Oops, where is it? It's not working. The second one is not working for some reason. We have the value as our phone and set our phone. What's the problem? So yeah, it's working now. So basically I don't know what was the problem. I just retyped it. And I something. If I go back, yeah, it stays here. The last one is password and set password. In page 3 I can quickly write import form context. VS Code is really intelligent. If I just write a form context, it is able to fetch it from the source, and then we can do here use context. So quickly use equal to use context form context, and we want to import, and we'll go to form context and see what all things. So phone, password, and our password, right? So I'll just press alt, copy these. In page 3 I can just paste it. Cool. And in here I can just format the document. Password, I can put the value over here as password, and on change is equal to e set password to e dot target dot value, and then same for here, value is equal to our password, right? What is it? Our password, yeah. And on change, why is it doing on can play all of the time? I don't want to do that. I want to do this. So e set our password to e dot target dot value. Cool. So now it will stay consistent on all the pages. I can just set as a password. Yeah, if I go back and come back here, it still stays there as it was in the previous one. That's so cool. It's consistent over all of the pages. And now if you want to call all of these, you can suppose make a page 4 pg4.js, and you can, I don't need to show it, but you can just use a use context like this, use context, and put all of the variables over there which you want from the context, and access all of these all over your app. That's so cool actually. It's really we are sharing the state between the between different components. That's so cool. And we have successfully made our project which we promised to make for you, and that's so cool. Thank you so much for watching and hope you like this video.